All right. I think I'm live. I'm not too sure, but it says live up top. So I think we are here. All right. Let me make sure I have all my socials up and ready to roll. Give me 1 second, guys. This is my first time doing this. So I'm hoping that it works. All right. Let's see YouTube. Okay. All right. So that's good. All right. That's there. All right. We are just I'm well, me. I'm setting up got the YouTube going and I have let's see here. I have the Facebook. So I should have that going as well. So we'll see how this works. All right. We are going to let's see here. All right, chats. Okay, we're getting that square it is. All right, what's up, Carlos? That's awesome. So my brother's watching me, so that's awesome. And let's see here. I wonder if I have upload. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna give this a shot and see how it goes. So, all right. Welcome everybody, who's ever is here. My name is Cesar Pagan. I'm the host of Beyond the Frequency 369, the podcast, and this here is my live segment, Beyond 369, the live current. So I decided to pretty much start doing these lives so we can connect in real time, share ideas, explore some of the themes I talk about on the show, but in a more open and interactive way. Obviously, you guys see me with guests, but this should allow us to engage, maybe ask questions about, what you've seen on the show, conversations, bring up your own topics. Let's communicate, right? Let's build this community here, right? Tonight, we'll be diving into something I usually keep in the background, which is my own personal outer body experiences. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts and questions about that. And I know you guys have seen plenty of my guests talk about their experiences and things like that. But keep in mind, as a host, the VIP, the person on stage is the guest, not really me, right? So yes, I'll interject with ideas and comments and ask questions, but my job as a podcast host is to deliver whatever the guest is trying to say and pass on their stories and their experiences, and also to introduce you to those individuals so that way you guys can support and check them out on their channels, their social medias, or whatever activities that they're pushing forward. So, but this live is my chance to just you guys to get to know me and me to get to know you. So we'll see how that goes. And with that being said, let's see if I can make this happen. Let's try to hit my intro and then see if it works, right? So here we go. Okay, so I think I was doing something a little bit different. So I apologize for that. I was actually just looking around, trying to figure out where my video is playing. So let's try this again here. What if I told you that everything you know is just the beginning? Beyond the veil of the ordinary lies a realm of hidden knowledge, ancient wisdom, and untapped potential. A place where consciousness expands, reality bends, and the impossible becomes possible. You weren't meant to stay asleep. You were meant to awaken. Open your mind, remember who you truly are, and step with me beyond the frequency 369. All right, that was that. Now, how do I get that off my screen? All right, let's see here. Okay. I think we should be good to go here, guys. So usually guys, when you guys see me do these episodes, I do production, right? So I just editing and things like that. So you guys are seeing the behind the scenes. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me and helping me out, supporting me, joining me, and things like that. Let me get back to my chat panel here so I can see you guys talk as you engage, right? All right, so basically I'm looking at my, also just make sure I have some notes here because I want to stay on track here. I will be doing tonight, I'll be doing 60 minutes, so I'll just do an hour, and generally I'm just testing it out, guys. This is my first live podcast, or live interaction. So I'm going to do 60 minutes right now every Wednesday at 6:39 p.m. Eastern time, and I will be on YouTube, Facebook, and I believe Instagram. So I thought I set up Instagram correctly. So if anybody eventually jumps on to Instagram and you see me there live, please send me a chat or something, on Instagram, and just let me know, like, hey, I see you. So that way I know it's working as well. You guys can be like my behind the scenes tech crew. So, all right, guys, outer body experiences. So here's the first question. Like, how many of you have had an outer body experience, or at least you think that you've had an outer body experience? So that's what we're talking about tonight. I want to hear from you, your experiences as well. I want to, answer your questions if I can answer them. If you feel like you want me to answer them, or if you just want to make comments, by all means, just do it, right? We're engaging, we're interacting, we're having a conversation, and we're going to try to do our best here to entertain you guys. So let me pull up here something that I have generated, and give me a second here while I pull this up. So when I've done my outer body experiences, what I've tried to do is I try to come back to like an AI software like ChatGPT or something, and try to put down all my remembrance, everything that I remember when I've left my body, in the most detail that I possibly can. And what's been happening is I've gone through like 20, 30 different renditions of the image because I'm trying to get it as best as possible, so I can present to you or talk to other people about it. So what I have today is I have an experience that I had not too long ago, a few months back, and I did a rendering on it. And so what I'm going to do is try to share my screen here. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, let me actually talk to you about my first accidental outer body experience, which was a few months back. And the reason I want to tell you this first is because I'm not an expert. All right. I've done this a few times, but I've had this experience a few times, but I'm still working on it. I'm practicing it. So I think you guys have all heard of Darius J. Wright. Okay, you guys have heard his name, I know, on my podcast episodes with Bam and Andre and Corey and things like that. Hey, what's up, Top Only? Good to see you, or to hear from you. And let me show, this is my brother right here, Torus Pagan. All right, he's down in good old Houston, Texas. So yes, we are live, bro. All right. So anyways, so I've practiced. I've taken some of these techniques. I've tried to modify them to best fit me. Today's live is not about at all about teaching anybody how to do any outer body experiences. Um, all I'm doing is sharing mine, and hopefully we can have an engagement and talk about it. So the first one starts off like this. I actually, a few months back, it was probably around like 5:30, 5 in the morning. Hey Jessica Love, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Um, and let's see, where are you actually, Jessica? Just so I know, is anybody coming in from Instagram? Oh, never mind. You guys are from YouTube. I can see it. I can see it here. All right. Again, anybody on Instagram, let me know if you guys see me there. Even on my Facebook, let me know if you see me there as well, just so I know. So, anyways, it's around 5:39, 5:39, 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning in the AM. And what as I've been practicing for months prior to, we're talking about anywhere from 8 to 11 months or so, trying to do the process of basically lowering my electromagnetic field, right? Which is the Torus, right? That's the field that when your heart and your brain are still active and we're still alive, we get this toroidal field, right? So I'm trying to lower it down so I can put my body in sleep paralysis. And according to the teachings and the training, once you put your body to sleep, but you keep your mind consciously aware, that's when you can slip out of your body and then have the outer body experience. It's different than see, Carlos, I got me. Cool, awesome. Carlos, I appreciate that. He just confirmed that I am on IG, so that's fantastic. Um, so when you what was I here? See, now I gotta see, whenever you're live, you can't edit this stuff. So what was I saying? I was saying about lowering your electromagnetic field. And oh yes, I was going to say that the difference between dreaming and having an outer body experience is this: is that when you're dreaming, you're unaware. You're unaware that that you're having a dream. You know, that existence, that reality, everything that's inside that dream is real. Okay, you're oblivious to the waking world, right? And unless you're lucid dreaming, okay, so just to be clear, right? Unless you're lucid dreaming, you're obviously aware that you're in the dream, right? um and then, but when you have an outer body experience, and if you guys have caught this on different episodes that I've had with other guests, they've also mentioned the same thing too, that when you're having the outer body experience, you are, your body, your meat suit is asleep, okay, but your awareness, your consciousness, that's awake. So that's what you're trying to do, and it's considered a controlled outer body experience. Why is it controlled? Because, well, it's not a sudden death. It's not a near death, right? You're not dead or anything like that. You're still awake and you're still aware. So, anyways, I went through my process, and or at least I was practicing it. And I was there for about 45 minutes or so. And it was just another morning that I was like, I'm not gonna achieve anything like this. But I gotta keep going. Gotta stay positive about it. But I knew that I was like, my wife's gonna wake up soon. I think it was like Friday or Saturday. I know it's towards the weekend, but we're pretty much gonna start our day, go out for a walk and things like that in the morning. But I was trying to do it before my wife woke up, because since I just woke up, my body is still in that relaxed state. It's still in that very relaxed state to where I don't have the day's troubles. And I don't know. I don't have this care about what's going on in the day. So part of the training is to, when you're feeling like that, especially in the morning, practice. Just try. Okay. So I did that. It was probably about, you know, 40 to 45 minutes. And I was like, okay, nothing's happening. Then I felt I'm on the right, my wife's on my left side, and she I felt the sheet starting to move. She was starting to get up, and I was like, oh no, 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 no. So I turned to my left, and I was like, babe, 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 please, please just give me like 5 minutes. Like I was telling her, like, please give me 5 minutes. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Because I'm trying to, I'm trying to do this. But she stood up, put on her slippers, ignored me, and just kept going to the restroom. And in that interaction, I realized I'm looking to my left, but down, left and down. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I looked from my right side peripheral, looking down behind me, and I see myself laying there. And immediately I looked back up, like I turned my head back up, and I was like, oh shit. And then I just fell back. I woke up. So my physical eyes woke up. I looked to my left. My wife wasn't there. She was in the restroom. And immediately I had this joy over my body. I was just like, yes, like I don't care, how I did it, but I did it. I finally did it. And I think the trigger for me was that I got to a point where I just let go. I didn't care. I just, I let go and I didn't care. And I think at that point I wasn't forcing it, because I was doing that for a while. I was forcing it. I was, um, getting frustrated, getting angry, feeling that sense of failure because, I'm practicing. I've spent practicing outer body many days for like 4 hours. All right. Like I go to my guest room, prep everything, put on a blackout mask, put on my headphones with the hemisync, beats and stuff, and just set up everything just to make sure that my body gets relaxed. And I'll be there, like trying to stay still. And that's the key thing, trying to stay still without moving. So, folks, if you try to stay still, laying in bed for like 3 or 4 hours, you're gonna get itches. You're gonna want to scratch. You're gonna get probably irritated. If you have any restless limbs like arms and legs, like that's gonna kick in. Like it's not easy to do. So, but anyways, this day I did it by accident, and because I then took what I learned from that regarding the letting go, here's how these other ones begin. So this next one that I'm going to share with you was actually an intentional one, meaning I went through the process and I succeeded. So at this point, and let me actually, I think I'll go ahead and just share my photo with you. Photo AI, you get it. 1 second while I pull it up. All right. So hopefully you guys can see that. I think I see that showing on the screen here. So, all right. So this is an AI rendition of me in my bedroom a few months back and what I saw. Now let me explain everything that you're seeing here. So at this point, I left my body and I was actually on back here, like the angle that I'm looking at is me standing at my bedroom door. Now, when you leave your body, before you leave your body, you have to set an intention. So my intention was to get away from my body, go outside of my bedroom door, like go on the other side, which is the living and dining area. So I wanted to go there. I want to make sure that I'm explaining a couple of things. And if you guys have questions as I'm explaining this, put it in the chat and ask away, right? So this instance, I turned around because I wanted to verify and confirm and check that I'm out of my body. Why do I do that? Well, I'll put it this way. It's so, the experience is so real. When you leave your body, you're not a ghost. And I want to I'm gonna skip over that just a little bit. Um, awesome. Hey, Juliana, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me here on this. Um, so anyway, so I ended up leaving my body. Oh, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. So I'll get better at this, guy. So I appreciate it. Um, yes, it's physical. When you leave your body, everything is still physical. Like sometimes well, not sometimes, I pretty much on routine, whenever I get up, let's say if I need to go to the restroom or something in the middle of the night, I always check behind me, back at the bed. Why? To make sure that is it me or is it my astral self, right? So I always have to do this check. And I'll explain that on a different time. If you guys want me to elaborate on that, you guys can ask that now. But I'm just gonna try to continue with the story, or else I'll never finish it, right? So, anyways, I checked back, did a quick check, saw me laying there. Now, even though my intention was to leave the room, I saw something for the very first time in my life that I've never seen before. And what I saw was this field. Now, here's what's wrong with this rendition of it from AI. I was trying to put this field around just my wife. Okay. So the field was not around me, just to kind of paint the picture. It was just around her. And I didn't know what it was. I also didn't really care about what it was, but I was intrigued. Okay. So I want you to just be clear on that. I didn't really care because my initial intention was to leave the room. But when I turned around, I kind of did one of those like, that's interesting. And I saw this field that was just around my wife's body. And the field looked like like on a hot day, or where you see like the heat waves, kind of like those fumes, or if you look at gas, you see those wavy fumes. That's what this field looked like. All right, but it was just covering her, and it had this like circular type of shape. Not perfect, but it wasn't a square, it wasn't a triangle. All right, let's just do that. And then inside of it, I could see inside of it these images. Now, again, the rendering here put these images like if they're like flat cardboard or whatever, but they were, how do I explain? So, okay, imagine a projector, right? Like old school, like in the theater, you have the projector, you have the screen, and then in between you have the light that has the image in it. So in the old days, when you could see that, you could look up and you can see the film, the whatever's playing in that light, right? Kind of like a hologram. So that's what these images look like, but they were inside the field, and they were what do you call it? They were pushed up against. They went with the curvature of the toroidal field, and I'm calling it that because after a while I realized that's pretty much what it had to be. Okay, so it was right along on the inside. It wasn't coming out of it, and there were so many of them all over the place. They were just holograms. They were images. They weren't like TV screens or anything like that. And again, guys, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you the best description possible because, one, for those that aren't familiar with my channel, this might be something wild for you guys to just accept or understand. And for those of you that are familiar with my channel, I think you guys should be able to understand some of the things that I'm saying here. So yes, images, boom. Okay. So as I'm out, I also, because I'm trying to leave my body, I don't want to be near my body too much because I don't want to be snapped back into my body. Keep in mind, folks, when you leave your body, the field, the electromagnetic field that holds your soul in, it is powerful. I mean, it is like the same example that I would say is the planet, right? The planet has an electric magnetic field, and the result of that field is what creates gravity. Okay. Gravity is a byproduct of that field. Okay. So, and that keeps everything in the planet. So the same thing with your toroidal field. Your field is what keeps your soul, your energy body inside the meat suit. So because I'm not dead, it if I leave, if my astral self leaves my meat suit, it's gonna do everything and all to try to pull me back in. So the closer and the longer that I'm near my body, the tougher it is to get away. Um, so anyways, I want just to be clear of that. So I say that to say this is that I didn't want to stay there for too long, but I was intrigued. I've never seen it before. It's an opportunity. So I thought, well, I had an idea what this is. First thing that came to my mind. Oh, and let's be clear here. Your mind is exactly the same as it is in your meat suit. Okay, your thoughts, your image, completely absolute same blueprint. Okay, so there is no difference. So anyways, I thought, I'm thinking, wow, if I step in there, am I going to be in her dreams? I mean, are these her thought forms? So I said, okay, let me just step in. And I stepped in, and I realized I wasn't in her dream. So I looked up and tried to see these thought forms, and the images were just there. I don't recall or remember what was in the images, the details, because what I was focused on was the experience, not the details of that in particular. Like I wasn't looking at every little picture or image or whatever was going on in her field. That wasn't my what I was, focusing on. Because when you're outside of your body, whatever you focus on, that's what happens. Okay. So if you focus on a place, you go there. If you focus on a situation, it happens. So cool. I mentioned that. And I saw all this. I stepped back. I not really processed it. I just kind of said, okay, I took it for what it was, and then I left my room. So that was the end of that. When I left my room, right when I went outside, I was thinking about my body, and I snapped back in. Okay. So I didn't complete my initial objective, my initial intention of leaving my body fully. So there's that. Let me stop sharing that there. So yeah, if there's any questions or comments about that, by all means, have at it. And I will, let's see here. I'm going to play something else here. Uh, uh, uh. Okay. So give me 1 second while I upload something, and then I will continue with the next piece of this. So I appreciate you guys being patient. I thought I had a video in here that apparently I don't. So I am now just uploading it, and that'd be cool. All right. So cool. All right. I am now bringing that in. So that's going to be great. Okay. But yeah, so that was my experience, and that was one of my first experiences, and I thought it was just amazing. I ended up I was telling my wife about it. I was telling people that would hear me out, and um, it was something that I've taken with me to be able to reflect on, understand what's happening here. The techniques, the experiences are something that are valuable to me, because that allows me to be able to speak on it and share the information with folks that are like-minded, and that way, through the conversation, I'm learning, they're learning, and we're just sharing knowledge, right? And I think we don't talk about these things too much. outer body experiences, I know many people have had these, whether it be controlled or not controlled, but we don't talk about it because we feel like we're going to be, ridiculed or talked down to, told that we're crazy. And then one of the main feedbacks that people get is that you were just dreaming. So here's the other question: how do you know whether you were dreaming or not? Well, let's keep it this simple. When you dream, you have it, you wake up, you forget it. Probably the moment that you move a finger or you yawn, that memory of that dream is gone. But when you have an outer body experience, you remember it. You remember it because you are consciously aware. While you're having the experience, you're looking around, you're exploring, you're going here, you're interacting with entities and things and situations, you're in different dimensional spaces. All these things are happening. So you're having an experience while you're consciously awake. It's no different than going outside and deciding whether you go to the grocery store or you go play basketball or something. You're making a decision, you're going to it, and you're having the experience. So when folks like us, outer body explorers, come back from having the experience, we remember. We're able to just say, "Oh man, and I saw this. Oh, and that's right, and blah blah blah." And the detail is a lot more. The detail is a lot more. So when it comes to a dream, a lot of it's, I think this happened, and I thought this happened, and but not in the outer body. So that's how you know the difference between if you're dreaming or if you're having the outer body experience. All right. And with that being said, let me actually take a quick break here. I'm going to play this video and I'll be right back. Oh, here it is now.
Hey, I'm Cesar Pagan, author of Kaizar's Chronicles, The Anunnaki and Us. I didn't write this book just to entertain. I wrote it to spark curiosity, to challenge what we've been told about our origins, and to bring ancient knowledge into the mainstream through the lens of an unforgettable story. It's written as a fantasy, but the roots, they run deep into ancient texts and forgotten truth. This book follows Kaizar, an Anunnaki being who guides readers through a hidden story of humanity. It's perfect for young minds who crave adventure and adults who are ready to question what they think they know. I believe storytelling should set you free, not just take you somewhere, but help you see differently. So if this resonates with you, I challenge you, read it and explore even further. Kaizar's Chronicles is available now on Amazon, $8.99 for the ebook and $13.99 for the paperback. Are you ready to challenge your reality? Let the journey begin.
All right. And that was my quick little promotion of my book, Kaizar's Chronicles, The Anunnaki and Us. So if you guys haven't heard of it, I have a website, right? So beyond the frequency 369.com. So you guys can go there. You'll see my book there. Click the link and take you straight to it. It's on ebook for $8.99 and on paperback for $13.99. And again, with this being my first one, I should have probably had the book with me, but I don't have it with me. It's in my closet. So I'll have it next time. I'll be playing that promo every live just until we get some reaction on that. So, all right. So let me answer some of these. Let me change this. Okay. All right. Let's see if this comes up here. Awesome. So Juliana, does your wife ever show up in your dreams or in hers? Does my wife ever show up in does your wife, I think you meant, do I ever show up in my wife's dreams or vice versa? Hopefully I understand that right. But if I ever go into my wife's dreams, I don't. Okay. Just to be clear on that. It's a personal space. Just because I won't. But to be honest with you, to be fully transparent with you, I haven't even thought about trying to do that. Why? Because, well, I don't really know exactly how. All right. I don't really know exactly how. I just know that if I do find out how to do it, um, I won't unless she wants me to, right? Just to get permission. Like I showed, like I explained to you in the story that I just talked to you about. I thought stepping into her field will put me into her dreams. Apparently, I was wrong. So what's the next step? I don't know. I really haven't had that conversation with some of my outer body friends, but I will. Just not ready for it yet. I'm still trying to um, navigate, learn the basics. All right, because there's a lot to learn from it. So and again, Juliana, I appreciate you asking me that question. And Jessica, let's see here. After your first experience, how long after were you able to do it again? That's a great question. So, if you're talking about my first accidental experience, um, I think it was probably within a month, like 3 to 4 weeks was when I went ahead and just because I was excited. The reason it took so long and I didn't do like the very next day or the next week is because I have life, right? I have life going on, and I don't. When you trying to achieve the outer body state, you don't want to be in any kind of stressful mindset. You don't want to like get off of work, get out of traffic, and then go try to shut your body down. No, if you, how do I explain this part? Okay, if when you're outside of your body, you are no longer limited to your physical body, okay, to this body, to your meat suit. There's no limitations. So, what that means is that when you think of something outside of your body, you're presented with that thought, okay? You're presented with that thought. If I go into the outer body state with fear, with the fear of being hurt, with the feeling of loss. Will I die? Will something, grab me? Will I see demons? If I go into that state with that mindset, it's going to be presented to me. As soon as I pop out, I'm going to be presented with whatever fear is in my heart. So just keep that in mind. This is why people aren't doing it a lot, right? There's people that can, but this is why people, the average person isn't doing it all the time. And even the outer body explorers who are more advanced than I am aren't doing it every day because of the whole fear thing, but it's also draining. It's draining. One of the biggest goals for an outer body explorer is to stay out longer. Okay. To stay out longer, to have more of that experience. But our bodies are not dead. So that pull is always going to be there. The moment that you think of your body or anything relating to that situation, you're going to get snapped back. Okay. And so I think I answered your question. And then, so yeah, I think that should satisfy your question about, how soon after my first experience, because I still count that first accidental one as my first experience, and then the one that I told you there. So hopefully that works. I'm reading here some comments. Okay, so Juliana, you're saying that. Okay, cool. So I did interpret your question correctly, and you say that it does. You asked this because it happens to you and your boyfriend without you putting any intention to it. So that's interesting. I'll be kind of interested to hear more about that from you. Do you and Juliana, do you do this a lot? Do you go outer body more often, or when this happens to you, is it just by accident, so to speak, right? Because you said that you're not putting any intention. So I love to hear from what you said about that. S, I'm not sure who S is, but S from YouTube is saying hello. Thank you for joining the live. Good to have you here. And so here's a question that you had, which you're saying, what entities have you seen or communicated with? All right. So that one, okay. I want to make sure that I explain something here. I am going to explain two of the entities that I've encountered, but not on this live. Why? Because here's what it is. I actually don't want to influence or put a thought in anyone's mind who is currently trying to achieve this. For example, anybody on the live or anybody who watches the playback. So I was not going to talk to anybody on this live regarding the entities because I'm not ready for that yet. Today's objective is just to share my experiences, and I hope you guys understand that and respect that. But I will get to two of those. I've only met two. I've only interacted with two, and I'll explain those. But I will tell you this: it hasn't been any cat people, any Palladians, right? It hasn't been any of those. No dragons, no dragons, or anything like that. I haven't experienced any of those. So I hope that's good for you, S. And I appreciate you asking that question. I'm looking to see if there's a question here on the Facebook. So, all right. Okay. So the next one we have. I'm going to share my screen here to show you this next one. Actually, before I do that, I will tell you what happened first. Okay. So this was earlier this year, earlier in the first quarter of the year. Here's the highlight. I went to Mars. All right, process that. Okay. I went to Mars. Here's how that happened. I left my body. I was in my room, left my body, went, did my check back to make sure and see that I was still there. I was. And then I went to go open the doorknob, and because of my intention to go be outside, as soon as I went like this, I didn't even turn the doorknob. I was on the other side of my door. I didn't go through it. I just appeared there. So as I wanted to go outside. This was my intention for that night. I wanted to go outside. And straight ahead was, when I come out of my bedroom, is my living room, my dining room. There's a wall with a bar, and then it goes into the exterior. So I was walking forward, literally just walking. I wasn't floating or hovering or anything like that. I was walking. And to my right is my dining room. And what I have right now, currently in this realm state, I have a long black rectangular dining room table with 2 chairs on the side and 4 chairs on the 2 chairs on the end and 4 chairs on the side. Well, when I passed my dining room, I didn't see my table. What was there was a round black table with 4 chairs just around it. 4 chairs and a black round table. And here's the thing, guys. I knew it wasn't my table, but it also felt familiar. Like it felt like it was mine. Okay. I'm trying to process that. It wasn't my table. I knew that, fully aware of it, but it felt familiar to me. So looking back at it, I reflected when, after all this, and I figured that in some dimensional space, that is my table. Plain and simple. That's mine. So again, not too much focus on it, not too much intention being put onto that table. Just noticed it. Okay, cool. and I kept on going forward. I don't know why I actually was moving forward, like I knew that I could go outside. Now again, this is in my meat suit self thinking, well, if I go that way, I'm gonna hit a wall. I knew I wanted to go that way. I knew outside was that way, and I also felt like I was gonna be able um to go through the wall, I guess, right? And this caught me off guard. Um, as I approached the bar, I went through it. And I went through it, and let me just talk about this piece here. I went through it and I felt every fiber, every molecule, atom, every texture of that bar, everything. The bottles, the wood. The wood was the biggest thing that I've felt. And it wasn't like I'm touching something. I was I was it. I was the bar. I was like I'm showing you this pen. I was the pen. Okay. There was no difference. Like that's the bar and this is me. These are the bottles. These are the glass. No, like I was all of that. I understood that I was all that, and it wasn't unfamiliar to me. It wasn't weird. I didn't have that weird feeling. Talking about it can be weird, right? But it wasn't in that state of being. And before I move past the bar, I also want to say that I also felt a remembrance of the tree that bar that wood came from. Like I was how do you say, I felt how old it was. Not like a pinpoint, like, oh, it's exactly, 1,000 years old. I just felt it was old. And, it wasn't like 10 years old or, not even 100 years. It was just old. I felt that. And I remembered it. Had all these instant flashes of just flowing in the wind, things crawling on me, right? Me being the tree. Those things, I don't recall what those things were, but I assume those were like I don't know, animals, squirrels, bugs, things like that. Hey Sarah, welcome to the to the live. Thanks for joining us. And you're coming from I think probably like YouTube or something, right? I would assume so. Yeah. So again, thanks for joining us. And so I go, I feel that I get these flashes of the tree or the wood, and then I move forward. I'm outside. I'm outside right in the exterior, which is the side of my yard. And I move over, kind of like heading towards the street, right? House, yard, and then like street down here. And I'm looking outside and it's bright. It's bright. It's illuminated. Like it's daytime outside. But I know that chronologically around the time frame that um that I was out there, it should have been still, like morning, but like kind of dark area. So but it was bright, like a nice 12 o'clock, sunny day. And I was looking around for the sun, just looking up because I'm exploring. I'm like, okay, well, where is the sun? And I'm not seeing anything. And talking with other outer body explorer friends and everything, they made me realize that it there was no sun. It was me. It was the light within me that was shining, that was illuminating, that was brightening that dimensional space that I was in. And I thought that was awesome. But again, at that moment, it was like, okay, there's no sun. I didn't think much else about it. And here's the next part here. I ended up feeling a little bored. I didn't really know, like, okay, like, what do I do? Obviously, there's a whole lot of things to do, but in that moment, I just felt like I don't know what to do. And this is all like just quick thoughts. This isn't like This isn't the way that I'm explaining it. And I said, let me go to Mars. Now, why Mars? Mars, because it was something that I was, researching and looking into a few months back. I didn't know if I want to talk about it on an episode, something like that. So I said, yeah, let me go to Mars. But folks, I've never been to Mars. Where do you, even if I want to go to Mars, where do I go? So the only thing that came to mind as a reference point was the rover robot that you guys see on TV or articles and things like that. And now here's the thing. My meat suit, I don't know where that robot's is. I don't really care. But my soul, my consciousness, my awareness knows where it is, right? All I have to do is just think about it. Boom, I'm there. So now I'm in Mars. To my left, by my ankles, pretty much. I mean, not that low, but to my left, by my leg, pretty much, was the robot. Big thing, a lot bigger than I actually expected from the videos and images that I've seen on TV. It's big, it's massive, it's got a lot of equipment on it, and it was just kind of rolling slowly. I looked to my right, and there was this like hill, this giant hill, just curving, right? Like if maybe you could stand on it and then look over to the rest of Mars or whatever that area was. And as I looked up past that curvature of that hill, you could see the atmosphere, pinkish, like a violet orange, whatever the case is. I was still somewhat not sure, like, is this it? is this Mars? And then I stood still and I said, what if and again, these are just thoughts coming in very quickly, right? What if I just stand right here and go back 2 million years? 2 million years. Why not one? Why not a year ago? Why not 5 million? I don't know. 2 million years is what I thought about. And now I'm going to share my screen and show you what I had saw. Okay. So I should be sharing my screen now. And then you guys let me know if you see it. Okay. All right. So you guys should be able to see my image. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are thinking about this, but yes, those are reptilian beings. Yes, Jessica. So Jessica just asked me on the chat, is the rover on Mars real? Well, that's a funny question. What I saw seemed real, so that's a whole different conversation that I don't want to get off track of my story, but it's a very valid question, Jessica, completely valid. So for the sake of time, yes, it's real with a wink. Okay, with a wink on that. All right, so that'll be for a different topic regarding our reality, the dream world, and everything that we see within it. So yes, the rover on Mars is real. All right, so in the spot where I was, where I landed, where I appeared 2 million years back, and now I'm underground. I'm underground, and I see these two reptilian beings. Now, this AI rendering of it, I'll explain what's right and what's wrong here. What's wrong is that this tube was not in the middle. But yes, there was a long table of sorts, and there was one reptilian being at one end, and another reptilian being on the middle of it, but towards the back. And then the two tubes, whatever these were right on top of this table. And yes, they were holding these crystal, I'm zooming into the rendering like it's actually what it is, but they were holding these crystal tablets, iPads. I don't know what they were, but they were clear. Okay. And if if you don't focus on the detail, you don't really see much of it. So what I got was the fact that it was crystal. What was on it, what else was in it, I can't tell you that, because that wasn't my focus. And also, just to make sure that we're also clear about where I was, is right now in this rendering, this reptilian here is facing, he's looking behind over his right shoulder. I actually was on his left, so he should actually be facing his left, over his left shoulder, but that's just a small detail that I'm okay with. Anyway, so I'm on his left though, and I see this, and I also notice that they're wearing these gladiator type outfits, like the kinds you would see on Sparta, or the movie Gladiator, or 300 and stuff. Yeah, just the breastplate area, and I guess these were skirts. Okay, that's what I remember seeing. Again, I didn't think too much of this. This is just what I remember seeing. I put it down, boom, that's what it is. And in the moment that I'm on his left side, he's looking forward, he's looking at his crystal pad, so is the other guy. They were researching or reading or analyzing or gathering. They were doing something, but they were focused, kind of like they're looking at an update. Like if something's going on, they kind of pick it up, and they're just kind of like, okay, here's whatever the data is. That's the feeling that I got from it. Okay. And I said, I wonder if he can see me. And when I mean he, I mean this guy here. And as soon as I even finish off that sentence, he looks over his left shoulder, and he gives me this kind of look. So which was, I was kind of impressed by the AI that was able to kind of give me some kind of facial experience there. And he just kind of looked, but it wasn't a threatening look, and it wasn't like who goes there or anything like that. It was just like, yeah, I see you, like a confirmation, but nothing further was going to happen after that. This is just all I'm explaining to you. I'm breaking down the feeling, because again, when you have a feeling, you get a lot of information when you're in the outer body. So I'm trying to verbalize it the best way I can to paint the best picture that I can for this story. So as I'm wrapping this up, he does that. He's still looking at me, I think maybe trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? But I then look past this guy at the very far end, and what's not on here was that I thought about, like, what's happening with my body. Like I was just kind of curious, like, just a quick thought, like, wonder what my body's doing and stuff. And then a portal, which is what I'll call it, a big circle, oval type, just opened up, and I saw myself laying in the bed. Okay, I was on my side facing my wife, and I was and then after that opened up, I saw it open up, I saw it, and then kind of looked away a little bit, and then I really put focus on it, and boom, back in my body. Okay, so let me just close that out. And that was the end of that experience. So take what you want from it. You know, I don't know, guys. I'm just sharing my experience. You asked the questions, and I'll try to answer them. I've talked about these experiences when I do interviews for other podcasts, other shows, other private communities. Which you guys, if you guys go to my website, which is beyondthefrequency369.com, you guys will, I think there's a tab called Gateway, and you guys will see a lot of my episodes that you guys normally see on my YouTube, but you'll also keep scrolling down, and you'll see all my collaborations. And I have a lot of shows that I've been on, a lot of amazing hosts and people that I've met through there. So I would encourage you guys to, if you guys want to hear more about me and things that I've done, and things that I'm doing, check out those shows, see my progression as I've been growing as a podcast host, because I think they're worthwhile checking out, especially if you want to get to know more about me outside of my podcast there. All right, well, I think we are coming to a close here. I'll make sure I hit on my topics and stuff. So as a reminder, why I'm doing these lives is I want to engage with you. If I could, I would have all of you on my show at one time, right? But I can't. So the best thing that I can do outside my show is have these lives on a weekly basis where where we talk, where we engage. I'll do my very best to have a topic or topics for every week. And the way you guys will know that is I'll post it just like I've had it earlier here. I'll post announcements and I'll put it on my YouTube saying upcoming. And on the thumbnail, you'll be able to just see what the topic of that week would be. Or maybe also some weeks I'll just come on here and just talk. If there's something that needs to be said, you know, we could talk about anything. We could talk about my past episodes and the guests and some of the conversations. If there's any controversy, if there's anything that, you know, something that you agreed with or disagree with a previous guest, like we can do all of that. That's what this is about. But more importantly, folks, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to get to know this community. I want you guys to get to know me. And then how this interaction goes will really determine whether I continue doing lives, you know, or not. So that's up to you guys. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know if you enjoy these solo episodes. I know this is the first one, so you don't have to comment about it on this one, but you guys can wait on the next few and see if it's a vibe for you or not. And also, I want to leave you guys with a little bit of a homework, if you guys don't mind. And I'm trying to, as I'm building this this community with Beyond the Frequency 369, I don't know what to call you guys. You know, I know the label thing, I get it. Now we don't need labels for everything. But I feel like when it comes to a community, I feel like it becomes more personable, more intimate. So I had an idea and I put a post on there. And that post is going to give you guys three names, three labels, what I would like to call this community, and see if you guys enjoy it or not. You know, if you guys like any of those three, you guys will do a poll, and then after the poll, we'll just say that this is the name that you guys all agree with and select it. But right now, the working title, let me see if you guys catch this. Drum roll, please. That's me doing drum roll, so I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I want to call you guys the 369 circle. So the 369 circle. So you guys know I'm huge on the 369, and we can talk about that on different podcasts, right? We can talk about why I came up with this name, this brand, the purpose of the show. Those are all things, if you're interested in finding out. If you're not learning about that through my website, if you're not learning that through my collabs as during doing interviews on other shows, we can do it right here on the live. I'll tell you up front of how this all works. So the 369 circle, circle, infinite loop. Once you guys are all part of it, 369, the 3, the 6, and the 9. Talk about 3 for creation, 6 for harmony, and 9 is completion or birth of something. So it does mean something to me, and hopefully it resonates with you as well. Patty, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing with me and letting me know that everything's going well. So I appreciate you on that. And let's see if there's anything else here as we're wrapping up. Yeah, just let me know if you enjoyed this episode, if I should do more of these lives. And I will plug in, let me see if I can actually plug in my my website and stuff. Give me 1 second. I think it's here somewhere. Here it is. Let's try this. Okay. Hey, it works. Awesome. There's my website right there, beyondthefrequency369.com. So that's cool. So yeah, make sure that you do that. And don't forget to go check out my book, Kaizar's Chronicles, The Anunnaki and Us. You guys saw the promo. There's more information on it on my website, but Kaizar, that's actually the name of my youngest, my 14-year-old. All right, his name is Kaizar. So it's a little tribute to him regarding the name. The story is the book is 33 pages. So I think some of you will understand how significant the number 33 is. And I also am delivering to the mainstream, hopefully to the mainstream, forbidden stories, forbidden knowledge, right? And but I want to illustrate it and tell it in a way that's easy to digest. So I'm aiming to introduce these to the young minds. I think it's right now geared between 9 and 14, but anybody can read this. Okay, anybody can read this. You'll have Easter eggs. You'll have a lot of things that's in the story that you're like, wait a minute, that's weird. I didn't know about that, and so it's a teaching opportunity as well. I didn't want to create and write a book that was geared towards adults, because a lot of us are already set in our ways, right? So just another book, right? But to the young minds, that's where it starts there. And it's not about convincing you that the story is true or not. All right. Whatever my opinions are, it's not about trying to convince anybody about the story. It's about just planting a seed and let the people reading it water that seed. And what I mean by water is like, grow that curiosity on your own. And if you find things in there that grab your attention, you will do the research. You will look into it. You will ask questions. You'll contact me on my socials. You'll ask me questions, folks. I'll answer them. I do my very best to answer the socials DMs that come in. I'm there. That's me. I don't have anybody paying to do this. So yeah. Anyways, if you guys can continue to share and like my episodes, my clips, have conversations, talk to people about the show, the purpose of the show, and the messages and the guests, like just help me out with that, because that's going to help this show grow. It'll tell the algorithm that you guys are interested, and by doing that, that's by putting comments and liking and sharing. It tells the computer or the program, the matrix, if you will, that you guys are interested and that you want more of this information. I have my next episode that I'll be releasing this week is with Alyssa Rushton. She's a near-death experiencer. So she died a couple of years back, came back, changed her life, her look. I'll show you before and after photos. She looks completely different. So she changed her life because of her experience. She talks about her abilities and the things that how she applies those abilities to her day-to-day now, how she helps out people. She is doing conferences. I mean, you guys are going to love this episode. So stay tuned this week. That's my next episode with Alyssa Rushton. You guys can see her on socials. It's going to be great. I'm excited for you guys as well. And with that being said, folks, this was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And as always, I love you. I see you. I hear you. I am you. Continue to ask questions. Don't be afraid to pull back the curtain. Look forward, always reaching beyond the frequency.